Johnny's plow truck. Check out this rig. He's had this thing for a while. Plowed a bunch of snow with it. Dalton built this bed. It was a nice bed. Had the bed had skirts on it, and he did a nice job on it. It was a nice looking truck bed, and Johnny was using it as a plow truck. And Johnny brought it by here one time. He said, "Man, cut them plates off of there. I can't see up in there. I can't see up in there. I don't want them skirts on there. Just cut them off." You know, so I cut them off. And that's what he wanted. And then he said he wanted sides up on it. Now this part here, the sides, I did this. And this is a material I might have talked about before. I like this material because this 4-pound catwalk, you can put a bungee cord, a ratchet strap, or a chain hook on this about anywhere you want and pull any direction you want, and it doesn't bend. It's good stuff considering something that's 4 pound a square foot. But anyways, yeah, it's Johnny's plow truck, and the reason it's in here now, Johnny stopped by here yesterday, and he had the factory chrome bumper on the front of this truck, and it was bashed in where he hit God knows what. And he said, "Man, you got some pipe? You got any pipe? I want a piece of pipe across here, maybe 2 pieces of pipe across here." He said, "Can you hook me up with something like that?" And I said, "Well, Dalton's got some pipe that he got off of Tom from over at Fink. It's got fusion bond on it, but it'd be about the right size for something like that." And Johnny said, "What the hell's fusion bond?" And I showed him. I said, "Well, this fusion bond, that's the way gas line pipe is. It's got this fusion bond coating, this green coating on it." Johnny said, "Oh, that's fine. I'll paint right over that." Yeah, as you can tell, Johnny's he's not a prim and proper. His shit's not polished. His stuff gets hammered together. He's got, this rig, he's got his mirrors on there, duct tape. The damn door, the only way you get the door to stay shut is the lock. Otherwise, it just kind of, yeah. But that's how he rolls, man. He ain't worried about that. You check out, he ain't got enough tire clearance to keep the tire from wearing a hole in the inner fender. And I'm telling you, the dude, he ain't worried about it. He wants 2 pieces of pipe on the front of here so he can bash into shit. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put him a couple pieces of pipe on there. It's freaking 5:25 on Sunday morning, and that's what I'm going to do. So, here we go. Johnny's wanting this bumper to have the front like this, and the 2 sides will follow with the shape of the truck. I've got that laid out on the table over there. And the way I'm going to go about doing this, I've taken a piece of pipe and I've cut it for the entire length of all the pipe I would need from one end to the other. So those miter cuts are going to be inside of there. It's going to be 20 inches on the inside from the end of the pipe into the inside of the miter cut that I'm going to make. So the way I'm going to go about doing this, taking that piece of pipe that's on the stands I make my miter cuts, those pieces on the end will be flipped 180 degrees. So this miter cut will be made, the piece will be turned over and put back together. So I could be a little off on my angle cut, and I could be a little off out of level, and I would still be okay. One of the hardest things to do is to make these two miter cuts clocked correctly. And when I say clocked, you see, if you got one miter cut like this and the other miter cut like that, you're going to make a piece that is kind of groovy in a way you don't want it to. So how do we avoid that? We do that with a center head. This is a Flange Wizard center head. It's got a level in it. You can adjust the angle, and I'm going to show you how to use it. There's a center punch right here. But what I'm going to be doing, I've made, I said 20 inches from the end. I've made some marks at 25 inches. And I'm going to be putting a center punch mark 25 inches in from each end at the absolute top of that pipe and at the absolute bottom of that pipe. And that's going to get me set up to make my miter cuts on the saw. I want that top pipe a little bit higher than that, but sticking it up there on the jacks give me a look at how she doosenating. I took some measurements from where there's bolt holes right here. This is real thick stuff because there's a plate from the truck frame. There's also a plate from his snowplow rig behind that. So I'm going to put a plate on each side right there, bolted on, that I can weld to that. And I got a measurement. I'm going to move that up. I marked these out so I can, I'm going to drill these holes with the mag drill. And I got a center punch mark right here where I'm going to saw that off. That's a good idea because your soapstone, you know, might get erased when you're messing around drilling. Drill those and drill those. And that flat bar, you might see me clamp that mag drill to that flat bar even though the magnet's stuck to the bar. But that bar is not a very thick piece of steel for that mag drill to stick on. So that's a $60 drill bit, you know. If I got to stick a clamp on it to make me sure that that drill's not going to move while I'm drilling, that's what I'm going to do. So see the old brick nose dually here? See that front bumper on that truck? That's the front bumper that come on that truck. That front bumper's been on that truck for, well, since 1988. That's the original front bumper. And I got this truck in December of 1999. And not one time did I ever think, hey, I'm going to take that bumper off there and put a different bumper on it. Like, I just don't think that way. I just like, you know, if it wasn't a problem. This truck right here, you know, the old, the Super Duty service truck. She's a 2014 model. See this bumper? Factory bumper. That's the bumper that came on this truck. That bumper's been on this truck for 8 years. 130,000 miles I've rode in that truck behind that bumper. And the thought never crossed my mind. Not one time ever did I think, hey, I'm going to tear that bumper off there and put a different bumper on it. But Johnny Vaughn, on the other hand, he wants another bumper on there. He wants it made out of pipe. He wants 2 pipes across there. You know, what do you do? You know, Johnny's like, he's not your Mel Gibson that's speaking eloquently at the Grammy Awards in a suit and tie. That's not the Mel Gibson that Johnny Vaughn is. Johnny Vaughn is the Mel Gibson in Mad Max, going wide open into the Thunderdome to save the orphans. Check this rig out. Ignition key no good? Hey, no problem. Let's just put in a start button. What the fuck, Johnny? Fucking door don't stay shut. She's a turbo diesel variety. I'm telling you, she's a beast. It's like with Johnny, you know, like if there's something, say I'm driving down the road in the old brick nose or in my Super Duty. Like if I was driving down the road and I see something in the road or whatever, something coming alongside the road, you know, I hit the brake. I use the steering. Like I would steer around the obstacle. Johnny ain't into that shit. He ain't down with it. You know, like, remember Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. If you're messing with Johnny Vaughn and you go low, he's going to run you over. If you go high, he's going to keep plowing into you until he shoves you out of the way. But anyway, that bumper actually fits that truck. Like, you know, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants. If you don't like the Grappler G2s he's got on the front, hey, no problem. Got a set of Ridge Runners on the back, you know. Alright, so that's the end of that one. Got a little project to knock out on Sunday morning. Later!